North Texas and Texas Tech. Texas Tech, 9.5-point home favorites, 68.5 the total in this game. And this opened as high as 12, and it's all the way down to 9.5 now. And I'm part of the group that grabbed North Texas already this week. I can't lay it with the Texas Tech right now. This is a mess. This is an absolute mess right now. Defensively, they have zero clue what they're doing. Okay, they have been horrific. I can't even stress it enough. Horrific on the defensive side of the football, Texas Tech. Terrible through the first two games. Abilene Christian, the first game, we talked about it last week, 52 points on the board. 51 points on the board against Texas Tech. What do they have? 494 passing yards against that Texas Tech secondary. Washington State puts the 37th spot on the board in the Palouse late Saturday night against Texas Tech. John Mateer, that kid's actually fun to watch. He didn't really light it up in the passing game. The secondary played better in that game, but then the run defense falls apart. So against Abilene Christian, it was all through the air for the 51 points. Against Washington State, it was all on the ground in the 37 points they gave up. 301 rushing yards. John Mateer, the quarterback for Wazoo, had 197 of those rushing yards for the Cougars in that game. You can't lay it with this defense right now, period. Now, I know on North Texas's side, there's still questions about how good their own defense is. I mean, this is a defense that gave up 38 points to South Alabama in their first game. But their offense with the TCU transfer quarterback, Connor Mack, Chandler Morris, he's been phenomenal. It's been absolutely tremendous for North Texas in these first two games. What are his numbers to start the year? You look at them. 2 games, 68.2% completions, already, over 700 passing yards, 7 touchdowns in 2 games, has had 3 picks. And you are talking about, albeit a bad Power 4 defense, it's still a Power 4 defense, but he's done more than enough good as opposed to bad that I think they're a live underdog here on the road. And again, you've got this little brother, big brother in-state thing going on. And more than anything, look, this is a defense that I can't lay this kind of a price tag with right now. Not to mention, as much as I like Baron Morton at quarterback for Texas Tech, he's still mistake-prone, throws some bad interceptions, turnover-worthy plays, bad decisions at times. Not what you want when you're talking about a double-digit or close to double-digit favorite. So for me, North Texas or pass. This is one of those deals where the over makes a lot of sense, but even in the Texas Tech-Washington State game, that's the problem. A lot of these 60s so far have actually stayed under because, look, the new clock rules. The clock rolls a lot more now. You don't stop the clock after every first down anymore. And all of a sudden, you're seeing that affect totals, and it's not as easy as it used to be to see these games that are lined in the 60s, especially the mid to high 60s, go over the total. Although I can't bet it under, not with Texas Tech right now. What do you think here, C-Mac?
Yeah, I've had a lot less, and I needed to see more. We talked about totals, so I get going on them as the season goes on. Unders were pretty good last week for me in a few of these games. And the only one, Oregon, I stayed off this one, just went Washington State, right? And they got the job done. But you were correct. Middle Tennessee couldn't score. And all they needed was 1 touchdown, Bavano, because I just went with the over in that game. I didn't mess with anything else. I thought, they could get 10 or 14 points. Old Miss gets 45, 50. So that was just one of my few losses that I had. Yeah, I'm not going to mess with this total. But North Texas, they're bad defensively. Like, even their last game was solid. Like, Stephen F. Austin's bad. This is a bad football, a little different college basketball in years past. But they're not very good. And they gave up 20 to them. What was that score? 35-20, that last game. And they gave up a ton to South Alabama. But the offense looked really, really good. I thought that was a tough spot last week, and I was shocked that went down to a pick 'em. Really. I mean, I thought that was one that could creep to 3 with Washington State. And Morton, just the turnovers were awful. This is a short trip for North Texas here to Lubbock. Yes, if you got over the 10, congrats, because I think they can hang around. This is a team, they're so bad defensively, and as a dog, I want them as many points as I can get. And every once in a while, they'll come out and beat South Alabama, and they were 6-point dogs or a touchdown, week 1. But their defense is so bad, they're just going to give a shit ton of points. But can they come back? But they're a team that's down by 4 touchdowns with Bano. I could come back and cover for you. because they had that offense is just so explosive. So I agree with you here. I mean, North Texas or nothing. That defense for Texas Tech, they need to get it together. And I don't know if this is the week.
Yeah, that's the question. What you can do, too, is if you're not totally sold on North Texas defense, you could either take the team total over or split it between the plus the points and the team total. That's another option, so that if they score 35 but they lose like 48-35, you're still going to cash your team total, even if the plus the points doesn't hit. The point spread doesn't hit for you. So that is definitely something to look for. And Chandler Morris was a great get by North Texas. I got to give them a lot of credit. I mean, he was expected to be a big-time Power 4 quarterback in college football, and of course, he got bumped out at TCU. But great job by Eric Morris here, the second-year head coach here at North Texas, to get Chandler Morris in here, because he's a great fit, and this is a step down in class for him. Not so much, well, it might be a step down in class here the way Texas Tech's defense is played, but overall, you're playing against more manageable competition now in the AAC compared to Power 4 defenses. So that should benefit Morris as the season goes on. All right,